Welcome to the Tierney Education YouTube channel. My name is James Tierney, founder and CEO of Tierney Education. You can learn more about us at tierneyeducation.com. And today I'm going to be answering a question that was submitted from one of my students. He's having a little bit of trouble with price floors and what they are doing to the market. So instead of me just answering him the question via text, I figured I would make this video so that way maybe it's helping someone else who's having trouble with price floors out there. So let's go ahead and get started and look at what this question is asking. So it's saying there's a figure illustrated for the market for apples in which the government has imposed a price floor of 13. Now over here is the market, and the system has already put a price floor of 13. I'm going to make that a little darker so that we can really see that. Right, so this is right at 13, and there's a price floor right there. So the first thing I want to make sure we know is the definition of a price floor. Price floor is the legal minimum price, minimum price a firm can charge. The way I like to tell students to think about this is you can't fall through a floor. So you can't fall through a floor, so it's going to go down. The market is going to want to put downward pressure. So if I look at our market over here, our supply and demand market, it's going to want to put downward pressure, but it can't get to where the market equilibrium is. So it can't get there. So the first thing we really should look at is, okay, well, what would the market equilibrium price and quantity be? And so we know that's where demand and supply intersect. We know that there's a single price that gets me the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied being the same thing. So in our case, the market equilibrium with no sort of government intervention, we have quantity equal to 20. And then if we go over here, we see this is price equal to 11. Okay, so now let's see about answering that now that we have kind of the base understanding. How many crates will be sold after the price floor has been imposed? Well, let's look at this price again, right? We see the price at 13, and we can say a couple things. At the price floor equal to 13, we know that the quantity demanded is going to equal, and we just find that 13, we go over to where the demand curve is, we go down. That quantity demanded is going to be 16. And we see that the quantity supplied, again, let's take our arrow, let's go over supply, intercepts right there with 13. We go down, it's going to be 28. So quantity supplied is equal to 28. So that's good to know. But which one is it going to be? How many will be sold? Well, I demand 16 and I'm supplying 28, but it doesn't matter. I could supply 1 million. If only 16 people are demanding it, I know for a fact that this number right here is going to be 16. That's the number that will be sold because there's only 16 people waiting in line to try and get it. Now it's asking, will there be a shortage or a surplus, and how large will it be? Well, in this case, let's look ahead and look at what the definition is of a shortage and a surplus. Remember, a shortage, what a shortage means is that the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied. So you can think of this as quantity demanded greater than sign the quantity supplied. And most people will recognize just the term shortage, even without economics, there's just not enough of it. So we have a lot of demand, a lot of quantity demanded, not a lot of quantity supplied. On the flip side, we have what's called a surplus in these markets. A price might cause a surplus if the quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied. So in this case, quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied, meaning there's a lot out there. Well, which one do we have here? We have quantity supplied. There's 28 of them out there, and only 16 are demanded, so there must be a surplus. We can go ahead and put surplus in this box, surplus. Now the question is, how much of a surplus is it, right? Of how many million? Well, that's going to be the difference between the quantity demanded and quantity supplied. Notice there are 28 that are being supplied and only 16 that are being demanded. So in this case, we would have 28 minus 16, we would get 12. There's 12 extra here, so we would say that the amount of the surplus is 12. Now, the last part of this question asks, will apple producers benefit from the price floor? So what do we know? We know that before there was 20 being sold in market equilibrium. Now there's only 16. So there are some people who definitely will not. But let's go through each one of these and see what we can find out. So the first one, apple producers who are able to sell their apples at 13 per crate will benefit. Well, that makes sense because before they could do 11, now they can do 13. So if they are able to sell them, we know not everyone will be, but if they are able to sell them, they will benefit. So yes, let's put a little check mark next to A. But we have to see, like, there's the possibility, right, of both A and B or all the above, so we have to check all of them. Let's go to B. Apple producers who are not able to sell their apples will not benefit. Oh, that's true. If I can't sell them, I'm not benefiting from it. So we know it's at least A and B, so we know it's at least D. Now let's look, total revenue for apple producers as a group will decrease from 220 million to 208. Well, the only way we would be able to know that is if we knew the equation and definition of total revenue. Total revenue, which we usually denote as TR, that's going to be the price times quantity. The definition of total revenue really is just the amount of money you're bringing in. So I sell a certain number for a certain amount of price, and that's what it's going to be. So let's split this up into before and after. So before, what did we have? We had price equal to 11, quantity equal to 20. Therefore, total revenue equaled 20 times 11. So total revenue was equal to 220. So this was before. All right, if I go back over here to the question, all right, so that makes sense. Now let's see what about after. So after, ... what did we sell? We had the price equal to 13, the quantity equal to 16. Well, what's 13 times 16? You can plug that into your calculator. 13 times 16, total revenue equals 208. So that's correct here as well. So that means C is correct. So that means our answer here is all of the above. This is a very interesting question. It went over a ton of different topics that you need to know in your introductory microeconomics class. Understanding the idea of a price floor, right? Understanding what the market equilibrium is before and now what is happening. You really need to know the difference between a shortage and a surplus, and then how to calculate that shortage or surplus. Last but not least, you need to know what total revenue is, and then how to calculate it both before and after. So this is a really good question that goes over a ton of different topics and concepts. If you have any additional questions, please throw them in the comments below, or feel free to email me at james@tierneyeducation.com. I really hope to be doing more YouTube videos in this new year, so please do not hesitate at all to ask any questions. Also, like and subscribe and share this page with someone else.